The rise of the Internet of Things and the ability to control and monitor your home, workspace and vehicle from the convenience of your mobile phone all require brand new applications, ones that have more computing power and accessibility. Centrality is a venture studio that allows consumers to manage everyday tasks and experiences using blockchain-enabled infrastructure. They raised $100 million in 6 minutes earlier this year and have been dubbed the Apple of the blockchain. Well, for more, Sky News Business's Ingrid Willinge spoke to Centrality CEO McDonald.
McDonald, thank you so much for joining us on the program today. I might just kick off with asking you to tell us a bit about Centrality, your business. I mean, you raised, what, $100 million earlier in the year in just 6 seconds?
Yeah, six minutes.
6 minutes. All right, I was going to say 6 seconds is quite fast.
Yeah. 6 minutes it was a pretty quick raise, and we had a huge amount of demand. I think that the space is kind of very hot, like you said, and there's a lot of innovation coming in. There's a lot of capital coming in. There's a lot of human capital coming into the space because it represents an opportunity to reinvent how the internet works and to take a different look at how technology can work with its communities to create more value for everybody.
The Internet of Things has obviously opened a whole new sector for tech. I mean, even big, well-established companies like Telstra want a piece of the pie. Are you expecting Internet of Things to continue to grow that sort of sector exponentially in the coming years?
Yeah, I would say for sure, 100%. The range of devices and services that are kind of collecting data and transforming that into new experiences for us is growing. Artificial intelligence put on top of that to take that data and analyze it and kind of figure out the world around us in a different way than we've ever had before. I think this in itself represents a massive opportunity for blockchains and decentralized technology because it creates an environment where we can have devices, billions of them that are going to be interacting with each other, interacting on behalf of us in this increasingly digital world. And we're kind of stuck at the moment with the foundations of how values transferred around the world, literally based on printing press technology from the 1800s. So we need to change that in order to facilitate this new type of digital commerce and the Internet of Things.
Well, can you just talk us through decentralised applications and the significance of these? I know you've got some partnerships which we'll discuss, but how does this work? Why do we need decentralised applications to intercept with the Internet of Things?
Yeah, I think there's a few things. So as these devices start to collect more and more information and build up essentially a digital profile of us, we need to probably have better control of that data and that information. And at the moment, we either consciously or unconsciously hand that over to a small group of large corporations who control most of the data in the world. If we imagine the internet evolves in the way that everyone expects it to, and these digital representations of ourselves start to interact in this digital world more, I want that to be owned by me and not a corporation. And decentralized technology allows us to retain control of the data that we have. And the second thing is it allows us to put systems in place where we can trust that the code that's put out in the application ecosystem can't be changed underneath us. We have to have the community's agreement to make the changes to the code, to the way we're rewarded, the way we're respected, the way our property is treated inside of that digital world.
I know you've recently signed partnerships with Infinity Vision, a Chinese business, and also a Japanese-based business with decentralised apps. But what is the significance of this, and I guess how important is that Asia-Pacific market to you and your business?
I mean, Asia is at the forefront of blockchain and the crypto revolution. There's a very high participation here in the adult population in the crypto space. Admittedly, a lot of that is around cryptocurrency and trading, but it kind of sets the groundwork for people to start to take up digital applications, decentralized applications. We're focusing on this region because we think they'll be the early adopters and they'll leapfrog, the tech world that's kind of grown up in the valley in this decentralized space a lot faster. China's already kind of had a massive revolution in the way that commerce works. Japan and Korea are right into their blockchain, and I think as these next generation of decentralized apps come out, they're going to be the leaders in terms of adoption. because they automatically kind of get the blockchain bit. You don't have to explain that to them. You can just go on to the benefits of the application itself.
But I do imagine there'll be a lot more competitors coming into this space over the coming months and even years. How are you placed to deal with the competitive environment?
Yeah, I think that's a really good question. I mean, it is super early days. There aren't any winners yet, I don't think, and we welcome the competition. Our mission is to create a better, more fair, more equal world. And if we end up kickstarting that and maybe not being there in the end, I'll still be quite happy because the benefits for society outweigh, my personal benefits. Having said that, I think we're a few steps ahead of the rest. We're one of the few companies out there that's got a very tight consumer experience, and we're focused on mass market consumer adoption, partnering with the likes of InfiniVision, who's got access to, McDonald's customers, large retail network customers, with Jasmy, who's got huge reach into Japanese businesses like Sony, for example, and kind of partnering with these guys to bring decentralization into their existing customer bases, I think will give us a bit of a head start on the rest of the competition.
Yep, you've got your own token, you've got an ICO that you've had. I mean, what's your vision for the next 5 years? I mean, do you expect your business to be very dynamic, I guess, but do you expect a lot of change to occur? Where do you see your business going over the next few years?
Yeah, I think change is inevitable, and the pace of change in technology is just so fast. I mean, I'm in it every day, and I'm finding it hard to keep track of all the innovation that's going on. Luckily, I have a great team. In 5 years' time, I think we'll be well into the mass adoption phase of decentralized applications. People will start to realize that they can control their own information better, that they get rewarded better for being part of an ecosystem, that this asynchronous relationship between the big technology companies doesn't have to exist for you to get value out of technology. And hopefully at that point, we'll start to see some kind of real benefits on the ground with underserved populations and communities getting a leg up and starting to participate in the digital economy like they never have before. Yeah,
it'll certainly be an interesting few years ahead. CEO of Centrality, Aaron McDonald, really appreciate your time on the program. Thank you.
Hey, thank you. Cheers.